of food, different drugs, with a woman standing behind there with an apron on.
What?
A woman behind each table with an apron on and stuff. Would you like to try one of these pills?
But everyone would just be lined up at the Viagra sample.
Have you ever tried Viagra?
Yeah, I have. Have you?
Oh, I'd be too afraid. No, I haven't. I'd be too afraid to take it.
Why?
Because what if your
heart?
What if your penis explodes?
Isn't that the end result that you want? Isn't that what sex is? You create friction until your penis explodes.
I guess so.
Don't hold it in, Niels. Let it out now.
What?
Bring it on home to me.
What pillow are you taking now?
Klonopin. We've said it. You're still taking that. You're like obsessed with this pill.
I tell you, I don't remember stuff.
What pill did you take earlier when I had to talk for a long time to cover you taking a handful?
It was Rhythmol.
A Rhythmol?
Rhythmol.
Rhythmol?
Rhythmol keeps the heart regular.
And what's wrong with your heart?
Nothing.
Well, your heart is diarrhea.
I go into AFib sometimes, which means the heart speeds up. It goes like 1,000 miles an hour, like, and then it becomes irregular, arrhythmia.
And that pill keeps your heart.
It's one of the pills.
Sweet guy. So your heart. Yeah, Kevin. My wife just put Kevin Nealon to sleep.
For no reason, it'll go into, like I was in Mexico about 8 years ago. This is when it first happened. And
that's the worst place you want anything wrong with your body.
I had to spend the night in the Mexican hospital trying to get it. But it's not life-threatening.
But you don't know that when it's happening.
I didn't know it the first time, no.
So you probably were panicking.
I actually wasn't, because there was a doctor in the group we were with, and he goes, it's AFib, and it's not life-threatening, but you should get it back to normal rhythm. Otherwise, you could get a blood clot in the heart.
Yeah, that's why I put that in my mind, Doc. Just, that's the thing. Why don't you walk us through what it's like to be in a Mexican hospital?
Well, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. They alerted the cardiologist that we were coming. We pulled up in this Hugo that the doctor from the hotel had. We were staying at a hotel. Huh?
A hotel that...
Yeah, they had a hospital. They had a hotel doctor there who was eating a Big Mac when I came down there, and it smelled like onions and then llama crap from the nearby zoo. And so he took the club off of his steering wheel and drove me down there with the sheepskin seat covers. It was about 120 degrees. And I expected some rundown hospital, but it was actually a cute little annex from the hospital. It had an archway you walked through. There was a cuckoo clock on the wall in my room.
Well,
they had air conditioning.
What else do you need, really, after that?
Yeah.
I heard there's a lot of Mexicans.
But it's all in my book. Yes, you're pregnant, but what about me?
When you met Farley with his parents.
We're going back to the Farley
I mean,
thing.
you don't understand. People are obsessed.
That's when it kicked into the arrhythmia, right then.
Hashtag on Twitter, on Mohr stories, like they're just more, like it's their drug. They just need to know more about this.
You should get Spade on here then.
This magical man. He won't return my calls. What sketches, were you ever in a motivational speaker sketch?
No.
And that created a tension between you and Chris.
No.
You guys always had that bizarre tension.
No.
I'm making that up.
Oh, well, you know what? You know what was a good sketch that I liked? Of course, I was in it, was the Chippendale sketch with Farley and Patrick Swayze.
Now, when that was happening, was it... Oh, my God. My wife just said when that was happening, did you know they were both going to die?
No.
You look up at that stage... And I
said to Patrick Swayze when he was on the show, I said, do you work out at all? He goes, no, I don't. I just dance and, And who else said that? Roseanne Arquette said that. She didn't work out ever.
But
these people were both in great shape, lean and stuff.
And you were the one that said, we can't decide between the two of you. It's too close. Right?
Yeah. Yes. You're like an SNL nerd.
Yes. Here's the fatal flaw of that sketch. It's one of the best sketches of all time, but I thought the flaw... Did you write the sketch?
No.
Who wrote that sketch?
I don't know.
How could you not know anything?
Jim Downey wrote it.
Like, everything I asked, you're like, yeah, it's too much
I don't
work.
remember. I've done a lot of stuff since then.
Yeah, I know. 8 other years of Saturday Night Live.
No, I did 2 failed pilot sitcoms that went to air. Hiller and Diller and The Champs with Spielberg, and then the other one with Imagine. Brian Grazer, and they didn't go. And then, last stand up. I have a great
director I think you should hook up with.
Who's that?
Kevin.
Alec Baldwin.
You should work with Spielberg. You really should do something that Mamet does, maybe a period piece, Kevin. If you could get yourself in a Vietnam movie as a lieutenant right out of ROTC, I think that would really be good.
I had dinner with him once at my house, and we were talking about some animal issue stuff. As at the time I was involved with a lot of animal rights stuff.
You're a huge animal charity guy.
Yeah. But anyway, he was getting involved in that.
I mean, physically.
And he
really
always
large.
has these, he gets off on these riffs. And I became his assistant, his food assistant. Like,
hold on. You want to close this?
No, it's okay. As he was eating, first he asked me to pass the salt. So I passed him the salt. And then as he was talking about his project or whatever it was to everybody else and he was eating, he would just point at stuff on the table that he needed. And I would see, and I'd get it for him. Like he'd point to the bread. I'd pass the bread over to him. He'd be talking more, and then he'd point, point over there to the water. I'd get him the water.
At some point, do you think he knew it was funny, so he kept doing it, or do you think he was really like holding court?
No, he was definitely.
Kevin's my wingman. Keep shoving food into my stew shoot.
Yeah. Nick, you ever sit in this chair?
I think it's affecting your Farley stories.
I just need to get one of these. I mean, they've got. It's great. I love it. I like the one I have on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to give Kevin Nealon a key to the house just to sit in the garage in the massage chair.
In the green room.
Eric Roberts sat there and he forgot to turn it on, and he acted like he was having the greatest time of his life. He said he never took off his sunglasses. And I go, do you want to sit here or do you want to sit in the massage chair? He goes, I want the massage chair, man. And he sits in the massage chair.
They cut my thumb off, Charlie.
Oh, my God. For what, Charlie? If I'm such a mess,
does Jay watch a lot of TV? Really?
She watches all, like, people getting their throats slit, like Keith Morrison.
You like Dexter?
Yeah, I love Dexter.
So,
you gotta give us something, Farley, and then I'll stop breaking your balls about it. Because people are like,
well, the Farley story when he's trying to take a dump out the window.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
What, so, nothing? You're not going to give us any
I don't have
no
any.
Anecdotal thing, like you played basketball with him, nothing ever had, you never got in a fist fight with anybody in front of you, you never watched him inebriated, you don't remember a particular sketch where you went, holy shit, this is the most fascinating man I've ever watched.
Well, I could tell you that, he was such good friends with David Spade. He looked up to David Spade. He was like Spade's little brother, but he was so big in size. It was funny seeing him kowtow to Spade and kind of be his little buddy, even though he was so huge.
Yeah.
And then I would go to my dressing room sometimes. This is like near the end, and I'd see like different women in there. And I didn't know who they were or where they came from.
He would bring these ladies in, and I think they were pros. But the thing was, he would always like introduce them to all of us. Like this is
like they were the hometown girl.
It's Scarlett. Crystal. You know Crystal.
You know Bunny.
And you go, hey, how you doing? Like really nice to meet you. And then the next week it'd be like, this is my friend Lexus.
Alexis.
Like Jay, I want to introduce you to somebody. Murmur.
Yeah, Murmur.
I had an experience.
AFib. This is AFib. That'd be a good hip hop name, wouldn't it? AFib.
Yo, this is my boy AFib.
Yo, this is my boy AFib.
Murmur and AFib coming at you.
You know my girl Arrhythmia.
Hot 97, Arrhythmia on the mic. Farley and I got
go ahead.
In a wrestling match in the graphics rooms.
No.
And you will not. You just refuse to give us any. I should have emailed you. Just think of Chris. Maybe a couple Chris Farley stories as you walk up the street. I was going to send a car for you, but I just pulled in the driveway right before you got here. I thought that would have really.
That would have been the biggest waste of money.
I know, but it would have been worth it.
Do you waste money at all?
What?
Do you waste money?
I don't make really money to waste. If for a joke to pick you up in a town car to take you up the street 8 houses, I totally would have sent the car. That would have been amazing. And I would have had the guy take a bizarre route, like go up Channel, like come back around, loop around Pally High, and then just drop you off and skid to a stop.
Yeah.
Farley and I got in a wrestling match.
Who's watching the baby?
What?
Who's watching the baby?
He's asleep.
Oh, you got a monitor?
Yeah. You're the one. It's in your heart.
Hey.
They put it in your heart, and it picks up my son.
Just remember, if you have house guests, turn off the monitor. Because sometimes you forget and you talk about them, like up on the baby. And
but you can hear. Yeah, my wife. We want it because you can hear them.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to hear what people are saying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you don't. You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
You do. You do want to know if they're in your house and
no, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
If someone's going like, the thing with Kevin.
That's right.
But if they're in your house going, I'm not like your mother and father where you can't do anything about it. But if someone's in your house as a guest and they're going like, the thing with Kevin, I don't like you need to know that. And then the next time that person goes, so we're bringing potato salad to the barbecue, you go, no, you're not. It's okay. We canceled the barbecue for you. So Farley and I are wrestling in the graphics room. And I made a fatal mistake because he got obsessed with me being a wrestler. And Spade and Fred Wolf kept going. Fred Wolf specifically would go, I'll bet you, Chris, Fred's a wonderful instigator because he does it somehow without being an outward instigator. Like he kind of works it in gently. He goes, you know what, Chris, I would bet you, I'm not even bullshitting, I'll bet you $1,000 you could not beat Jay Mohr at wrestling. And Chris would be like, what, really? And he goes, yeah, he fucking, Jay wrestled. I could see it, you could see it in his eyes. David, I mean, back me up. And then Farley would be like, yeah, Farley would say like, no way. And then Fred would go, no, I'm telling you. And then Fred would like add credits to your wrestling resume. Like Jay was an Olympic alternate. Like you were, shut up, Fred. No, he wasn't. He was a fucking Olympic alternate. I'm not going to argue about it. And then Spade knew how to get Chris into stuff. Spade would be the counterpart to Wolf, where he would like then mock me for being an Olympic alternate, making it more believable. Like, ooh, alternate, I couldn't make the real team. I'm an alternate. Yeah. And like, but Spade mocking me because Farley looked at Spade like his older brother, it made him believe it. So he goes, all right, young fella, let's strap him up. And he would do everything like it was a big gag. But to me, it was the most serious moment of my SNL career. Right there was when me and Farley, because I'm in front of Fred Wolf and David Spade. These guys are writing machines. And I know if I can get a good takedown or something on Farley, they're going to tell Tim Herlihy. They're going to tell Downey. You never believe it. This kid weighs 160 pounds. He took Farley and I on a fireman's carry. We've never seen anything like it. And I made the fatal mistake of shooting it on Farley's legs. And I wouldn't call it a sprawl. I would call it more of just a building collapse where he just fell on top of my back and he spun around and he sat on my back. And he was just jumping up and down. And he's 300 plus. And I literally feel my vertebrae and spine at the point where they could begin to break. And I go, Chris, I'm not kidding. You have to stop. You're going to break my back. And then he starts patty cake clapping his hand, going, break his back, break his back. I'm going to break his back. And then Fred goes, seriously, like, you're going to fucking put him in a wheelchair. You have to stop. And he goes, you like wheelchairs, young? And then after, like, I really thought I was going to be crippled. And then finally Spade goes, get the fuck off him, Chris. And then Chris just stops and, like, freezes up.
It's like of Mice and Men.
Yeah, he just climbed off me like almost, he didn't say it, but his deportment was like, sorry, man.
Yeah.
Like, gotta take it down a notch, like Nealon says. And then he goes into the writer's room and he's sitting on the couch. And I went in, it was Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger were hosting together. And I went in and he was sitting on that couch right by the door.
Yeah.
And I said, this isn't over. And he goes to stand up. And I went towards him like at an angle and I got my right arm around his head. And I just kind of did like if you did a somersault.
Flying Dutchman?
I did the Flying Dutchman and the rusty trombone. I combined the two together. And I got him somehow in a cradle. It was a move where, like, if he moved in any other way, I would have just done a somersault and landed on my back and looked like I was doing Chaplin. But it worked perfect because he was getting out of his chair and my right arm went around his head. And then my left arm came up from the leg that was bent and still coming off the couch. And I locked my hands. I had him in a cradle. And then we rolled off the couch together. It was like this incredible...
Well, you came back for more after with almost a broken back.
Yeah, because he almost broke my fucking back. Like,
so you were angry at him.
I was a little angry, but I also knew I can get this guy. Just don't shoot on his legs. That was a stupid thing to do. But that's like a wrestler thing.
Who did Norm Macdonald like slap or hit in the face?
Ian Maxtone Graham. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh.
But you got to tell us stories. Everyone's heard my voice all the time. So, but that's wrestling. It's this just tyranny of will. Like, you just never stop. Like, you never, not me wrestler, but like other wrestlers out in the real world, like UFC fights. You don't want to fight a wrestler. It's not fancy. They don't punch. They get you on the ground and they just grind you down. It's just a tyranny.
Sandler said to me once, he said, hey, Nealon, do you want to go see a USC fight? I thought he said USC. I said, oh yeah, college. I'm thinking college boxing, and we get in the car and we're driving, down toward downtown LA, toward USC. We go past USC and we go to the Staples Center. When we go inside, I'm thinking, geez, USC's got, big boxing team, and, you know, it's a lot of fame.